Hey Dataflow fans, this is Mark here with an exciting update for you today. So I'm so excited by this that I didn't want to wait until Monday to release the video. What I want to announce is that we have released the public preview of what we call cluster reuse, or you'll see the label in the integration runtime as quick reuse. What that means is that your data flows can now start up much faster than before. Now these features for the reuse of the cluster is only going to be available to you in Azure Data Factory data flows today. Synapse data flows execute on Synapse Spark, and we have not yet implemented the TTL feature there. So this is related to TTL, time to live. You set a time to live, and then you can say reuse the cluster, and that cluster can stay available for you that period of time without needing to use the warm pull feature. The warm pull feature is more related to Azure Databricks, which is where Data Factory executes data flows on that Spark environment on the Azure Databricks service. And so it's implemented there first. It is actually going to allow you to both set a TTL and then to say, click the checkbox that says reuse the cluster, and you'll see your startup times become much less. All right, I think it's time to look at an example of the impact this can have and how you would do it. Let's take a very simple pipeline that I have on my screen. So my design surface has a pipeline. This is the pipeline view with just two data flows, and I'm actually executing the same data flow twice just for the demonstration purposes. Now, each one of these is using the auto-resolve integration runtime. The auto-resolve IR does not have any TTL setting on it. So it always spins up a job cluster every time, which can take about 4 to 5 minutes to start up. And so we're going to make that a lot better with these features, the TTL and the quick reuse. Now let's assume that we wanted to execute this as is. And in this case, these data flows, this loans data flow, takes about 5 minutes of execution time within the Spark cluster, regardless of whether or not that's Databricks or Synapse. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to run this pipeline just as is with an auto integration runtime, so no TTL. What you're going to see, let me go over to my monitor view. You're going to see, let me get the drawing tool on here. You'll see this bottom one right here. This represents what that time would be. So it took about 24 minutes to complete end to end. But if you look at that from the details of the actual data flows themselves, look at the details. Let's go into the first one, loans one. Okay, you'll see that first you're seeing a new preview of the monitoring view. So I'm not going to go into detail on that here. I'll record a separate video to talk about the updates we're making to the monitoring view. But focus on the time that each transformation stream took in total within the data flow. So for this one data flow was about a little bit over 6 minutes, but the startup time for the job cluster was almost 4.5 minutes. All right, so then if I look at the second loan data flow, this one here, you can see about the same thing. You're going to see this one took 5 minutes for the Databricks cluster to start. And again, about 6 minutes because this is the exact same data flow that I'm executing just twice in the same pipeline just for a demonstration. So what happens then is you add all that up together and you end up with a total of the execution time plus the cluster startup time. And the total time then was 23 minutes and 59 seconds. Okay, so that's default without you doing anything to improve upon that. And this is great for perhaps you have a data flow that runs for a long period of time and you don't want to have a TTL set on that's integration runtime. You just want to have this execute on a schedule. Perhaps the data flow takes 30, 45 minutes. In that case, the startup time for the cluster doesn't really impact your SLAs. In the case that it does, what you can do is go into your integration runtimes over here. Not there, that's the monitoring. Go into the integration runtimes on the manage. So let me just show you the default. So when you look at the default, you'll see that we are set. This cannot be changed. There is no TTL, and it's essentially an 8-core total cluster with 4 for the driver and 4 for the worker nodes. Now I have this integration runtime here called the Dataflow IR with reuse. So what I set for this one is, you'll see now a time to live. When you set a time to live, you can say quick reuse. I set it for 4 hours for my own testing, for my own internal use on this. You don't need to set it that high. You can just click quick reuse for a 10-minute TTL, and then the cluster will be kept alive just for you in your factory for that period of time. Let me just show you what that looks like. So you'd go into New, Integration Runtime, Azure, and then your data flow runtimes, set your time to live, 10 minutes is the default, and then just select quick reuse, and that's all you need to do. And that will now allow us to keep that cluster alive as opposed to leveraging the concept of the warm pool cluster in Azure Databricks, which although it does maintain the much of the infrastructure, there's still some software configuration occurring that makes the startup time to be 1.5 to 2 minutes time. This will much more minimize that, and I'll show you that right here now. So let's go back to the monitor. Now the second pipelines. The second loans pipeline that I executed took 16 minutes. So I chopped off about 7 minutes in execution time. Let's look at what we did here. So the results of this one were the first one took 11 minutes to execute. So what it did was it had a cluster startup time again of about 5 minutes. The sync time was a little bit less. I'm going to show you why it was less. I actually did a little trick. I used the parallel execution of syncs, which I'll show you in a second as well. But it's pretty similar. It's about the same. Now the big difference comes in when you look at the second one on here. So I didn't want to go all the way back. Look at the second loans. This cluster startup time was, wow, 4 seconds. Essentially, the cluster was already there, listening, ready for new jobs to execute against. And as soon as the pipeline from ADF sent that request to execute the next data flow, it was immediately available for you to execute. So just that was able to chop the time down from 24 minutes down to 16 minutes. So a little bit more than 7 minutes actually was saved on that one. How did I do it? So, okay, let's go into the pipeline. And all I did was I used that integration runtime I was just showing you, the data flow IR with reuse. But you have to set it for both of the activities. Every activity you want to have, use that warm cluster. That cluster is already alive and is hydrated. You have to use the same integration runtimes that defines which one we're going to use. Well, that's fantastic, but why didn't both of the activities start with just 4 seconds of time? That is because I ran this with the Azure Integration Runtime for the first time, which means that that first activity is the one that initiates, kind of starts up the engine of that Databricks cluster. So I had to wait for 5 minutes for that first one. Remember, my TTL is 4 hours. I'm essentially going to say I have enough jobs in here. I want to run this and leave this cluster alive all day long. 4 hours obviously isn't all day, but if you run a lot of these, every hour, that's going to stretch out throughout the entire day. Now, I do recommend that if you're going to use that sort of mechanism, the longer TTL, you look into reserved instance pricing for data flows so that you can save quite a bit on your data flows if you're going to execute a lot of these with a long TTL. If you can use a short TTL, the 10-minute TTL is probably not going to have much impact in terms of your cost because the TTL is just added to the very end of your last execution. Now, if you look at the last one that I did, this one I ran right after the second one, which means that the cluster was already warm and ready and listening for new jobs. So this one went down to 10 minutes. So I essentially went down from 24 minutes down to 10 minutes, running 2 data flows that took around 5 minutes each. And I was able to execute that in just over 10 minutes total. Let's take a look at what this looked like, because this is pretty exciting to see. So for loans 1, if I look at the details here, you'll see that the startup time was 4 seconds. For the cluster is already warm, and then 3 minutes and 1 minute for the syncs. And then for the second loans data flow, this was 2 seconds for the cluster to become available for the job. Okay, so that's very exciting stuff that you can use to make your data flows run much, much faster. Now, I promised to show you why I was able to squeeze out another minute or two out of my syncs, and I mentioned the parallel execution of syncs. The way I did that was in the pipeline. There is a setting here under sync properties called run in parallel. So I was able to save a little bit of time with that as well. The reason why it works here in this data flow is because the data flow looks like this. It's doing some masking, some lookups, and some cache syncs. Because I have 2 different streams here within the this same flow at the top, these are essentially what's known as a sync group then. And what I can do is I can now run these in parallel. So these are both writing out to single file. I'm using this save to single file option, which is a very costly option in terms of the performance of your data flows. But I was doing it just for this demo, and I noticed that I could make it a little bit faster if I wrote these at the same time rather than sequentially, because the writing of the files, the IO and the merging all has to wait for one after the other. Okay, so back to the main topic here is the cluster reuse. Remember, this is a public preview feature today, as of today, for data flows in EDF. It is not yet available in Synapse. We're making all those things available throughout Synapse as well, and then we will obviously plan for the general availability of the feature accordingly. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you find the feature to be very helpful to you.